want to talk about the guns in Sulfur, all 31 of them, so I figured it would be best if we just ranked them from busted to garbage with pretty stinking good, mid, and needs work right there stuffed in the middle. Nice little gun sandwich. Now, in Sulfur, all the guns can be usable. They can all be tricked out with enchantments like oils and scrolls, and of course weapon attachments as well. And none of them are per se like terrible or bad. You can use all of them and have a pretty good time, but some of them, just base kit, are so much better than the other ones. I do want to warn you before we begin, if you have not beat Sulfur or played like a healthy fill of it and you think there's more for you to see and there's more mystery, I would probably wait to watch this unless you don't care about that. If you just want to see what guns are in the game, then sure, watch this. But if you'd like to have that element of surprise and be like, wow, I had no idea what the Ploika Compact was, because it is random. You may not see a gun for the entirety of your playthrough. You may not know one of these guns exists. I could be missing a gun. I'm not, but I could have been, all right? I shouldn't be. I played an unspeakable amount of hours of this game, and it's only been out for a couple of weeks, so I thought this would be fun. And my metrics are going to, off of what's best, is going to be like what kills best at base kit, like what's going to be outputting the most damage and help with your survivability, especially when you get to areas like dungeon and castle. And then also, is it fun to use? If it's like a slog and it's not very interesting, then I'm probably not going to put it as one of the best guns. There's a gun that does all of that, in my opinion. Maybe a couple. In fact, I haven't really even ranked these in my head yet, so I'm going to be going off of this just from my heart and whatever you want to call the replacement thing I have up here, because it doesn't feel like a brain sometimes. It feels like a train colliding into another train and then somehow being just fine after. I don't know. Okay, let's just get into it. And remember, these are my opinions. If you have different opinions, if you think I'm just completely wild out of my mind for the things I'm about to say, maybe some of the things I've already said, feel free to let me know and tell me what you think is the best gun, what you think is the worst gun. Did I insult your favorite gun? Did I praise your least favorite gun? You know, let's just get into it. So first off, obviously you got the Dirk. This is the starting gun for the game. This is what everyone starts with. And yeah, it's pretty mid. Obviously, you could deck it out and make it really great, but as far as base kit goes, because we're talking about base kit, all right? Every gun can be good with tandem, twice, and just, you know, I mean, obviously, multiple projectile oils are probably the best as far as, like, damage output goes, in my opinion. And then, obviously, like, adding damage and everything. So you can make everything pretty freaking stupid. You can put Aftershock on every gun. It'll be absolutely broken, because Aftershock is absolutely broken. That's right. You good job. But yeah, I think mid is perfect for the Dirk, and I think mid is perfect for the Beck 8. I mean, pistols in this game are weird. They have a durability issue, right? Because like all of them have pretty low durability. They could be really fun to use, and one of these I think is incredibly fun to use. Also design wise, both of these are pretty basic. The Beck 8's not bad, and obviously you can put a gun crank on it and have a little bit more fun. I haven't done that, but I've questioned doing it. I've gotten every gun to rank 5 except for the dart, which I started doing today. And it's like rank 4 or something. So I've got a good experience with all of them. That was the last one because it was just so weird, and I dealt with the Knop already, but we'll get to those. But the Beck 8 is like a pretty standard pistol. I mean, it's much better than the Dirk, in my opinion. So a lot of people probably say it's better than the Socom, and the Socom is kind of weird. I mean, it's fun because the way it looks, in my opinion. I love the design of the Socom. You know, it looks like a taser, it looks like a water gun. I just love that yellow design to it. I didn't say that was part of the criteria, but I would probably argue the Beck 8's a little bit better if we're just talking pistols, but also the Beck 8's definitely better than the Dirk. The Socom is fun to just make builds around because of the style of the gun, but it's not the biggest clip in the world. It's a pretty straight shooter. It works well. I feel like I have pretty good mobility with all the pistols, so that's kind of dumb. I think the pistols are just kind of mid, to be honest. One of them I really like. The Gravekeeper, also a very like low clip size. I feel like it looks like it should be stronger, but it's not. You know, I've chiseled this thing with a shotgun, and it was absolutely disgusting. So it could be really good, but again, I don't know where else to put these, but like just the middle of the pack. These are like preference if you like using pistols, probably. Beck 8 might be the best to some people because it does have a big clip. It's pretty accurate, I think, and this is the worst. I think the Bronco 89 is absolutely garbage. I can't stand this gun, and I don't think all the guns... I don't think any of the guns are necessarily bad to play with, but the reload on this thing is stupid. You essentially have to play around that, or if you're going to enchant it, make sure you do something for that. Maybe give it infinite ammo or something to avoid having to reload it all the time, because reloading it is a friggin' slog. There's like, how many bullets? Like 12 or 13? And you got to sit there. You might as well like go make some tea or something if you're in the UK. If you're in America, enjoy a 64-ounce diet soda while you're waiting for that thing to reload, because it's just going to take forever. But there is one pistol out of the 6 pistols that I absolutely love, and it's the Star and Witness. I mean, how is an akimbo pistols not going to be the most fun pistol and one of the most fun guns in the game? I don't think it's busted by any damage means. Like, it's not going to be totally crazy, but it is really fun. And if you put a gun crank on it, again, we're going off base kit, but if you gun crank this and turn it into like an SMG, it's a friggin' blast. And it almost feels more accurate when you do that. The mobility you can really feel with this thing. You feel like you could circle around enemies and do work the whole time. This thing is really fun. I'm going to put it in pretty stinking good because it's not, as far as like, I mean, it is good. I don't know if I could say it's busted, though. It's not busted, but maybe it is. We'll have to get back to that. We'll circle back to that, but it's probably going to stay in pretty stinking good. Typically, when I make a tier list for anything, I try to have only 3 in the top high tier and then 3 in the garbage tier. Sometimes I don't need to put 3 in the garbage tier. Sometimes I have to put more than 3 in the busted tier, depending on what I'm tier listing. But for next, we have the Snut 38, which... Snut 38's weird because it's a revolver, yeah, but it's supposed to be like pretty much a meme gun. It's a small gun. You make a flare out of it or something, or just do something goofy with it. But it's only got 6 bullets. It's not really going to one-tap a lot of things. Maybe the goblin babies if you get lucky with spread, but it's not great. It's really kind of a lame gun. However, I mean that if you're shooting like a human and you break their mask, you're going to take like 4 shots to kill them, which is kind of lame for a revolver. So I'm tempted to put it in garbage. It's not supposed to be amazing, though. It's obviously a meme gun. It can be fun to deck out, and I hope I stop saying that for all the guns, because that's obviously the case. I might move that, though. That feels a little harsh for the Snut. The Snut saved me in a Sulflock. Oh, man. The Snut carried me. They didn't beat the Sulflock for me, but it carried me. Palehorse Topclipper is the next one. This is a very fun gun because it is different, it's unique, and when you have unique stuff with guns, it obviously is a little bit more fun. It might be the most accurate of the revolvers, if I'm thinking off the top of my head, because obviously I'm not playing right now, I'm doing this. I did do gun testing with everything except for the Wyatt PULSAR and the Vrede, because I was doing it in dev mode, and for some reason the Wyatt PULSAR and the Vrede are not in dev mode, so I wasn't able to really get some accuracy testing, especially because my Vrede is now a sniper rifle, so I couldn't really do the accuracy testing, but we'll get to the Vrede when we get to the Vrede. But as far as the Palehorse Topclipper goes, it's noticeably accurate. It's fairly strong. I mean, you have to deal with using every bullet in a clip before you can reload, so you have to make a decision. If you're going to a room that's going to have a bunch of people, you might have to shoot off a couple of shots, a couple of desk pops before you go in there. And, I don't know. Gator don't play that way, you know? It's good. It's good and it's unique. But I'm struggling to put it in pretty stinking good. I'm going to put it at the top of mid. It's a fun gun, and... yeah, I know. I was going to say something. I said I'm not going to try to say again. So I'm going to restrain myself. I'm going to show a little bit of restraint for the first time in my fucking life. So next up we have the 357 Balthazar, which is pretty much your prototypical revolver. The one you'd expect. It's like the wingman from like Apex Legends and everything. It's got some downfalls, though. Only 4 bullets. So that's kind of lame. You pretty much have to chisel it to make it super powerful. But it is dope. I mean, it's a freaking hand cannon. So, like, that gameplay style, if you're me, and this is definitely a personal thing, hand cannon playstyle is just so much fun. It's so rewarding to shoot anybody in the head or even miss. Just, it's awesome. It's a gun where I can crank the recoil up to 100 and million and still enjoy the hell out of it because I just love that playstyle. So I'm probably going to put that pretty stinking good. It is good, too. It's a good gun. The four bullets, though, is really detrimental. It kind of sucks because of that. I hate the 4 bullets, but, you know, you're packing a pretty heavy punch with it. Yeah, revolvers are weird. Revolvers and pistols are weird in this game. Like, they're good and they're fun, but you have to make them fun. You have to enchant them to the point where they are fun. Next, we have the Wyatt PULSAR, which is a gun that I hated for a long time, and I still kind of do hate, because I couldn't get it strong enough to kill Mr. Cousin, which is the cave boss. And then later I found out, after doing more testing, that Cousin can only be killed by one gun in one shot. And it's an energy charging gun, so I was like, I should be able to make this strong enough to one-tap him by holding it down and everything. And when I found I couldn't do that, I was like, I wrote it off. I said, this thing is stupid. And I recently went back to it, and I still do think it's pretty weak. It's, you know, you're risking a lot making those charge-up shots, and if you're versing something that's coming at you quick, it could be dangerous. It's kind of fun to hit them, but it's really weak if you just want to tap shoot it at something. I don't even think you can one-tap a mini goblin with it most of the time. You know, the spread and everything is probably going to ruin you. It's not the best. I would say this is the first, like, needs work. It's kind of lame in my opinion. I don't love it. I hate like talking shit on any of the guns in the game, because like I said, you can make them all fun. I haven't had a chance to make a build for the Wyatt PULSAR yet. I have one ready. I haven't had a chance to get around to it yet. So therefore, I am a fake fan, and I don't know what I'm talking about. And this whole tier list is suspect. But the Drifter 9 is not suspect. This, for most people, is the first SMG where you're like, cool, this is a pretty fun gun, and it can help you. It can carry you through town if you're accurate. If you're, you know, smart in your playstyle. Drifter 9 can definitely help you against humans and their masks, because you're going to want something automatic against them most of the time, at least when you first start the game, because you don't know what you're doing necessarily, and automatic weapons can help you a lot. This is one of the first to really help you out of that bind. I'm going to put it in mid. I'm going to put it right next to Beck 8. I mean, there's not necessarily... Yeah, there is kind of... This is kind of the exact ranking I would put it in. I'd put it right above the Beck 8. The Palehorse Topclipper is just more fun. I didn't mention it, but the Palehorse Topclipper has an iron sight that I really love. That stupid circle is just so much fun to me. It's cute, man. Next up is the Ploika Compact, which is a super fast firing SMG. I'm sure you've had it. I'm sure you realize the meme right away. And man, probably one of the most annoying iron sights I've ever seen in a game. Is just flat, and it's really hard to use iron sights on. Not that you should. It's definitely an up close and personal kind of the... I mean, it's a compact SMG. It's supposed to be... They're too close, man. They're too close. You gotta back them off a little bit by spraying and praying. One of my favorite guns to build around, if not my favorite, because it's a small, super fast firing, decently big size clip. It's... how could you not love to build around that? But again, we're going off a base kit. The SMGs are definitely better than the pistols and the revolvers. I'm going to put it behind the Drifter 9. The Drifter 9 is a pretty decent gun, in my opinion. You could probably deck out the Beck 8, put a gun crank on it, make it better than Drifter 9, but who cares? Okay, so the Vrede is your stereotypical SMG in the game. It's the one you'd expect how an SMG to fire, in my opinion. It's like got decent medium range, good short range. Yeah, really cool design, that like white, black, bat wing looking thing. I love the way they made the design of this thing. And it's a decent gun. It's a strong gun. It's a good gun. It's probably the best like all around SMG, and I gotta put it in pretty stinking good. Yeah, it's definitely the SMG playstyle, the generic kind, but that's a good thing. So the first love I had in this game, when I was like finally like I got a gun that is just shredding ass cheeks, and I'm having less and less issues every time I play, was the M3 Termite, because it can one-tap humans to the face because of the burst it gets. Most humans, with this gun's accuracy, it's going to one-tap them. It's very fun when you first start, but there's a big catch in the reload is ridiculous. I mean, you have to load all the bullets, like the 3 bullets at a time, and it takes a very long time, and it definitely holds the gun back. It's still super powerful, and you know, you got one-shot potential on a lot of enemies, a lot of the annoying ones too, and this thing could probably carry you and finish the game if you have enough ammo and you got a way around that durability. I'm talking base kit. It's a good gun. It's a good gun. But that reload is obnoxious. I think it's more reliable than the Balthazar. It's also got decent range. It's the only burst fire gun in the game? Yeah, it's the only burst fire gun in the game too, so it has that unique level. I expect more burst fire. I think everyone does. Next up is the Mossman, and we get to one of... I didn't realize this until I started ranking up every gun, getting them all to 5. There's a serious problem with shotguns in this game. Like, most of them suck. Just base, they just suck. And the Mossman kind of does suck. It's kind of sucks. I'm going to put it in mid, at the bottom of mid, because it is inconsistent. It's not as strong as you want it to be, because you get 6 shells, and you expect to 1 or 2 tap most people, and you do, but you also expect a 1 tap probably 60% of the time if you put yourself at risk, if you let something get close enough to you, or you get close enough to something. But I find it doesn't usually happen. I don't know why. It's very inconsistent when I've used it, and in my opinion, it's just not the best. The Mossman, I mean, it's mid, but probably teetering on needs work. I don't know. It's not bad, but it's bad. It's like the first shotgun you start using. And then you get to the 1889 Mario, which in my opinion is competing with like the Bronco and a couple other guns for the worst gun in the game. I mean, it's fun to use. You're basically out there shooting like bird hunting, but the reload takes forever. Again, it's really inconsistent with its spread. The range, I think, could be a little bit longer. I'm talking base kit here. I think the spread could be tighter and a little bit longer at range because you only get 2 shots and a decently long reload. Obviously, a fun gun to build around and mess around with. But there's also another gun that does the same thing, but way better, and that one's coming up. So the 1889 Mario, I think, deserves a bunch more range to kind of help compete and make it more of a thing. Because in my opinion, after ranking up every gun, it was definitely my least favorite to rank up. But the Arbiter 2 is also really bad. It's a 3-shot. You have 1 shot, but it's 3 shots at a time. So you have a lot of burst damage potential, which is good. So I would say it's better than the 1889 Mario and the Bronco and the Snut. And I definitely like it more than the Wyatt PULSAR. It's one of the first guns you get where you're like, whoa, this game actually gets a little weird. You know, you find it early on most of the time. It's not a super rare gun or anything, because the guns, I do believe, have some level of rarity to them. When they drop, they can have like green, blue, purple, different like color around them, and you definitely see more guns more often than other guns. And those guns, if you find them in like a vendor, they will be more expensive. This is an easier gun to find. I found 30 or 40 of them in my first 50 hours of the game, and I have way more than that. So I've constantly gotten rid of them or just ignored them. And it's fun because you can one-shot a lot of enemies even at base kit. But you know, you shoot once, you reload. Say you took that in a dungeon, you're getting swarmed after shooting once. It's just not a reliable gun. I would maybe want to use the Wyatt PULSAR a little bit more if I had to use base kit. There's things I've done with the Arbiter 2 that are absolutely hilarious, and one of my favorite guns I've made. I haven't shown it yet, but I'm working on it. It's one of my favorite things I've made in this game for gun builds, and I cannot wait to show it off, but no, it's weird. Okay, so you get to the next one, the Breacher 8, which is a very unique gun in a sense that it's the only gun that you can deck out that can one-tap cousin. I said I would talk about decking out, and I just brought it up with almost every single gun. But it is cool that it can do that, but it's also cool at base kit that it is incredibly powerful. You can charge this thing up and pretty much, yeah, you can one-tap any enemy in the game that isn't a boss off of base kit. It's a very, very strong gun, but that charge up takes forever. Again, if you're playing something like Dungeon, you're putting yourself at a pretty big risk. It's not something you can just use by itself. It's good, and it's fun, and it's unique, but you're only going to want to use it as like a secondary. It's going to be really dangerous to use this as your primary weapon. You can charge it for a few shots and not the full thing and get a decent amount of damage, but enemies move quick in this game, and this gun slows you down. It's a heavy gun. So I gotta say, I mean, I love how unique it is. but it's not unique. There's 3 charge guns here. I'll put it at the top of mid as base kit. Okay, that gun does some special things if you get it cooking. Okay, so next up, we have the gun that is in direct competition to the 1889 Mario, and that's the Augusta. And the Augusta is also a 2-shot gun, but it's incredibly accurate, super high-powered. It's an energy weapon. That's probably why it's better powered. It just feels like the 1889 Mario, but better. It's the Daniel and the cooler Daniel. It's just a better version of it. I like it, but me personally, I try to use the more unique guns. It's just a shotgun. It is really strong. For personal reasons, it's tough to where I want to put this. I might, like I said, I try to get 3 in the top. I'm going to put this down here. It's really strong, and it's the most reliable shotgun in the game, and shotguns in these games are awesome. And it's light, so you can jump around with it. I mean, it feels light. The mobility. Sometimes you use certain things, and you just feel mobile. And with its accuracy and your ability to shoot while moving around, it's really good. I'll put it right there, I guess. Yeah, it's strong. I can't ignore that. So then you get the Knop, which is a single-shot hunting rifle, and that's really dangerous everywhere outside of the caves. You know, it's pretty weak. It's definitely a gun that's the intent is to deck it out, and as far as base kit goes, it's very weak in my opinion. I would probably use it over. It's fun to use. It is fun to use. A single shot rifle is always fun to use because those shots when you hit them are very rewarding. I'd probably put it over the Wyatt PULSAR and the Arbiter 2. Maybe not the Wyatt PULSAR. Okay, so next up, you've got the M11, or what is it? The friggin', it cut off the damn thing. What I wrote them all down. The M11A2 Pierre Fusil. And this is a fun gun. It's like a 6-shot clip. It's like the Palehorse Topclipper. It's basically the companion piece to it. If not the star, the lead character. It's very strong, and you will one-tap a lot of enemies. If you're having trouble one-tapping humans, any of them that you can break the mask, if you shoot like right under their mouth where the mask is invisible, you can one-tap them, especially with this gun. It's very strong. The catch is it's a single-shot weapon. You do have to wait until you finish before you can reload, so you can't reload before a room, and you have to make that decision, or go into the room with one bullet in the clip, and then, you know, go from there. It's good though. It's very fun to use. I love using it. It's one of those like churn your brain off and just one tap like common mobs and have a lot of fun with that. I probably put it. The more I play with it and the more I play the game, I really have learned to appreciate it. But it's not super strong. But it is pretty strong. I'd probably put it above the Balthazar. It's fun to use, man. I don't know. Okay. So the Ferryman is very strange. It's a rifle, but it's not an assault rifle, which makes sense, but it's the only automatic rifle in the game. And it shoots BMG rounds, so the sniper rounds, automatically. So it's like a clip of like 20 or something. And it's insane. Obviously, it's insane. It's an assault rifle sniper combo at base, and I mean it's really strong. When you first get it, you're like, "Holy smokes, this thing is nutty," and it's decently rare too. I don't see too many Ferrymans dropping around. Very unique too, in its design and the weapon itself. Even the little ammo counter is really unique. I'm trying to look down there. As far as busted goes, I would say it's busted. The Ferryman is very good. I, again, have not built, like, my ideal, like, fun build. Because I like to make fun guns. I like to make a grenade launcher or a taser, stuff like that. I haven't done anything with that yet, but I have some very neat plans lined up for that. I can't wait to make something goofy and dangerous with that. That thing only comes dangerous, okay? Danger right there. And it's probably going to stay in busted. And then next up, we got the Rokua 308. And the Rokua 308 is your standard, like, bolt-action sniper rifle. Very good, even if you're hip firing. It's very accurate. You're not always going to, like, have a good shot at one-tapping people, but you can. I would say the Pierre Fusil, the M11A2, is actually probably better for one-tapping people, but it's a very fun gun to use and a very... I hate myself, but it's a very fun gun to deck out and do weird stuff with. And it looks cool, too. I mean, it's just like a standard hunting rifle-looking vibe. It's very good. It's very good and it's very fun. Yeah, I'd probably put the Vrede in the Balthazar. Me personally, well... I'm wondering if I got the Vrede in the right spot. Because, yeah, I think I might put the Vrede above the Balthazar and put the Rokua above the Balthazar. So, yeah, we might change this up. Because that Balthazar is throwing me off. I love the Balthazar, but there's something specific I do with the Balthazar that makes me love it. I make it a shotgun. If you make that a shotgun, it's easily busted. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. So when you change the chisel, it keeps, like, the same spread and everything, kind of, like, a little bit. In, like, the velocity and everything, so it's easy to hit like shotgun headshots from like a mile away with the Balthazar, and that's what makes it so damn strong. But even base kit's a really fun gun to use, so I'm not being biased on what I do with it and why it's one of my favorite guns, but still, base kit, Balthazar's dope. But if you wanted to put it in mid, I would get it. Revolvers are kind of, they're just mid. Dolphin 99 is a fucking joke. I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's the only gun where I consistently get a glitch with the reload where I finish the clip and it won't reload it until I switch to another gun or put it in my inventory and then put it back. And that sucks because in between shots it takes like a millennia. I mean, you shoot and then you wait and you wait and you wait and then you can shoot again. So very dangerous. It's obviously got maybe the best one-shot potential in the game because it's just the one you don't have to charge it or anything. You just have to wait in between shots. So it's very good for a standard sniper, like 50 cal kind of vibe. But it's dumb. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you fix it, though. I mean, obviously you fix that reload bug. I don't know if I put it in needs work, but it's so stupid. It also takes up like half of your inventory. It's so long. I'll put it down here just above the Wyatt PULSAR, and I don't even know if that's fair to the Wyatt PULSAR. Okay, so we talked about the Knop. Did we? Yeah, we did talk about the Knop. There's a gun that does it better, and that's the Dart. The Dart is essentially the Knop, but energy, and you have to charge up every shot, so it's a little different, but it's obviously stronger. The Dart's weird to me. I have no harsh or positive feelings towards the Dart. I feel like no one does, and maybe it's more rare than I think it is because I don't see anybody mention it ever. But I want to just, can I find a way to cram this right in the middle? I don't care for the Dart. Don't hate the Dart, but it just is fine. I'll never use it for like fun. But maybe I will. Maybe I just need to try some weird stuff with the Dart. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of charge-up guns, honestly. I mean, you could probably tell. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of charge-up guns. If I click the mouse, I want the gun to go boom and hurt something. That's typically how I roll. The Duhar is one of 2 LMGs, so you know we'll probably be getting an LMG when the next guns drop. At the very least, another LMG, because 2 is really light. It's the least amount of weapons of any class. And it's definitely the goofier version of the LMGs here. I mean, it's very fast-firing, decently accurate. The recoil is kind of crazy. It's really fun to just shred people up close. LMGs are decently strong in this game, and both of the LMGs reload quickly, so it's not like too big of a deal if you burn through your clip. I like it. I think it's fun. I actually like it quite a bit. Yeah. No, I would put it like right here. Maybe right here. Maybe... No, right here. Yeah, that seems good to me. Next is the Rektor 100 RD, which it took me until like an hour ago to realize it probably means 100 round. I thought it was some sort of meme off of like 100th. Instead of 100th, it's RD. I don't know, like third and stuff. I don't know. I thought it was just a weird name. I still think it's a weird name. The description of this gun is hilarious, though. It was given to principals to defend themselves. An LMG to school principals. It's amazing. I love that. I love the humor in this game. It's super goofy. And also, an American-ass gun right there. That is a patriotic gun. This is a very good gun. The spread is kind of nuts, and at range, you have to burst no matter what. Those bullets are going to go everywhere, but it is a good gun. It's one of the better guns. It's definitely better than the Duhar and the Vrede. I like it, but personally, it's overshadowed by the next category, in my opinion. My opinion, most of the ARs, I would rather have over the Rektor. And I keep wanting to say Rectum. I think I'm safer with this than in like strength and ability. It's definitely gonna beat that and that. I put it right underneath the Augusta. It's really strong and really good, and if anything tries to get close to you, you're just gonna shred it to bits. It works a crowd like no other, and there's plenty of dense crowds of enemies in this game. So yeah, I'd put it like right below the Augusta. Those are probably the guns that most people reach for in this game because they're accessible and they're good. They do a lot of damage. The Corpsemaker is next. The Corpsemaker is the only AR you can find no matter what. If you go to the caves and you find the Hawkland supplier, he'll always have 2 Corpsemakers for you. That's awesome. You can also find it on the ground. You can find it in chests. It's a very easy to find AR. It's one of the easiest guns to get in the game. That is a decent gun. I didn't get it at first. I was like, this thing is not killing when I'm asking it to kill, and that put me off a little bit, so I hated it for a while. But then I tried it again and used it more like an SMG than an assault rifle, and I understood more, and I do like it, and I've had fun with my oil build with it, so it's not a bad gun. It's a good gun. It's very good. It's just the only problem is the other 3 assault rifles are, and this is just a spoiler for the next 3 assault rifles, much better. They're just better guns, in my opinion. This thing, you got to do more burst firing if you're going to try to kill at range, and it's not as accurate. It doesn't feel as accurate to me. It's still a very good. All the assault rifles are very good. Assault rifles are the best guns in this game. I mean, they're the most games that is the case. These are the do-it-alls, the safety nets throughout the entirety of the game. Trying to think of where I put this, and I think I have no choice but to put it. I gotta give the Star and Witness for the fun, because it is fun. Akimbo Nintendo pistols is just a bit more fun than the Corpsemaker to me. But if I'm talking about survivability and power, it's gonna beat these out. It's an assault rifle. They're just busted in this game. They are busted in this game. And the Fisk is no exception. To me, the Fisk feels like the Corpsemaker, but better. It works better at range. It's got a cooler design. Both of the designs are kind of cheap and lame. Not lame, but like cheap and generic. I think the Fisk just is better fit for me because I can range and then also do some work up close and everything. And it just feels like I don't get doomed by spread as easily. I would just put it right in front of the Corpsemaker because they're just give and take. They're about the same damn gun. Next up is the Typhoon, the Type 80 Typhoon, the bullpup. This thing is a slapper. If you don't have to put a single damn thing on this thing. This thing is incredibly strong. It can one-tap most enemies just with the standard build. It's super good for an AR, and it's like an AR LMG hybrid, and if anything gets, I mean, you could range, you could use it up close. It's a really, really strong gun. Decently rare. You don't see a whole lot of them, but if you do, pick it up. I mean, if we're talking about busted, the Ferryman, the things, it's like a war. The Ferryman's like a war crime. That thing shouldn't exist, man. It's insane. It's an automatic sniper rifle. Yes, there's a lot of recoil, but you can learn to control that recoil, or you can counteract it. But if we're talking base kit, I put the Typhoon right underneath the Ferryman. I love the Typhoon. It's very good. It's very good. The iron sights are a little weird, but it doesn't matter. Just you can hip fire and have incredible accuracy. It feels stronger than it should. And then for last but certainly not least, in my opinion, is the best gun in the game. It's the Catacoil Rapid X. This thing is stupid. In fact, it's so stupid that using any other gun and getting used to recoil and then going to this will confuse the hell out of you, because it has exactly 0 recoil without doing anything to it, which is nice to have a gun that you don't have to. I don't think it has any. Like, if I'm being honest, if it does, it's minuscule. So having any gun at all, this might be the only gun I can think of where you don't have to change anything or be like, oh, I could tweak it to just be a little bit better here. It has 0 recoil. So it's just it's an actual laser beam. It's an energy gun that's a laser beam. And it might be a bug, I don't know, because like it's just so accurate with no recoil. The spread isn't invasive. And yeah, it's just the best gun in the game. It's the best all-around gun in the game. You could run this over and over and over and over again. You could wait till the new levels come out. You can go into endless mode when that hits, if they haven't nerfed this thing, which it's a PvE game, so I hope they don't ever nerf any of this stuff. And you'll face zero issue running the Catacoil up against anything, bosses included. It's so good. And just wait till you deck it out, bud. So if we were to go over this, I feel pretty confident with how I feel. This is a personal opinion. And from the top to the bottom, we'll start at the bottom. I wouldn't, go too crazy if you got anything under pretty stinking good. The guns in pretty stinking good and up are the guns that I use all the time and I love, except for the Ploika Compact. I love the Ploika Compact because it is stupid. And the Socom 9. The Socom 9. So this is a list where I'm being nice and not biased. But there is some bias because it's a personal list of what I think are the best guns and how I'd rank them. But from the bottom, 1889 Mario has got to be my least favorite flavor, man. I don't know. The Bronco 89 is right there with it, though. Maybe the Bronco 89... No, I'm going to put Bronco 89 as the worst, actually, which I don't think I've ever done with a list, but that is the worst gun. It's pretty much interchangeable with the bottom four. Maybe not the Arbiter. I feel like it's messed up to the Arbiter, but yeah, it's bad. The Arbiter's bad. With just base kit, it's stupid. But the Bronco 89, 1889 Mario, Snut 38 rounding out the garbage tier. And then the needs work tier, the Arbiter 2, Knop 22, the Wyatt PULSAR, and the Dolphin 99. These guns are just awkward and weird. I'm probably in a league of my own with the Wyatt PULSAR. That's kind of like a personal beef I have with it. I'm sure a lot of people love that gun. Not daddy. Not daddy. And then for mid, and I am loving the look of mid. I feel like this is completely accurate to me for base kit guns in this game. Mossman, Gravekeeper, Socom 9, Dirk, I feel bad saying that. Dirk, Dart, Beck 8, Ploika Compact, Drifter 9, Palehorse Topclipper, Breacher 8. And then for pretty stinking good, at the very bottom, Balthazar. Revolvers are weird in this game, and I love that thing, but you definitely have to deck it out for it to become a killing machine. The Rokua 308, Duhar, Vrede, Pierre, Fusil, M3 Termite, Corpsemaker, M11A2 Fisk, Star Witness, Rektor, 100 round Augusta at the top. These two are probably the most accessible guns and easiest to understand and master, so that's because of the ease of access. They're very easy guns to use because they're very good. And then for busted, the three guns that I think are absolutely incredible in this game that work in any situation, deck them out and you'll have absolute killing machines. Don't deck them out and they're still incredible, in my opinion, is the Type 80 Typhoon, the Ferryman, and the Catacoil Rapid X. So if you see those three guns, pick them up, give them a shot. You're going to like them. And then anything in pretty stinking good, you're probably going to enjoy the hell out of as well. And then most things in mid, you're really going to like. And then needs work in garbage tier, work on them, and then you'll enjoy them. But either way, I'm going to catch you later. Thank you for listening to me rant and ramble about guns in SULFUR. And please tell me how wrong I am or how right I am. I want to know your list. You can put them in the comments. Rank them yourself. Let's talk about it. I want this to continue in the comments. Let's have a conversation. I don't know why I sound like I'm begging. We always have a conversation in the comments. I fucking love it. See ya.